Alright folks, this should be a fairly short video. Many of you haven't heard of this, but this is called Map Seal. It's by Aquaseal or Aquaseal. And it's fairly easy to apply. It's kind of expensive, but it's, well, you think this puts a lot. This is only really enough to do 4 or 5 maps. 16 ounce side. No, that's an 8 ounce. 8 ounces is good for 4 or 5 maps, and that's putting it on with a brush. This will make your maps last longer. It also gives them water repellency. It's like a polymer. So it says it's seawater resistant. Seal maps can be folded and unfolded indefinitely. There is a 72-hour cure time. This is why I'm making this video. You cannot just put it on there, let it hang dry, and then fold it up and put it away. I am going to go overboard and say leave it set for 4 days before you fold your map. Leave it that extra day. It won't hurt it. It's also best if you put it on a map that is brand new. What I've got here is an old map I dug out, but it was rolled up. If you get a map that's rolled up, doesn't have any creases on it, brand new map, put this on there, your map should last twice as long, especially if you're going through the woods and stuff like that. This is a polymer, so it actually infuses into the paper to give it a little bit more strength and water repellency. So anyway, let me get with now. Here's what I want to say before I start this. Do the back of the map first. I found this out the hard way. Do the back of the map first and move it onto a sheet or a clean, dry bath towel for it to set. Because you'll do the back side, leave it set for about an hour to 30 minutes to an hour, flip it over, and then do the front side. And I found out the hard way, it is best to do the back side first. So do the back first. It just, from experience, I've come out that it's easier to do the back side first. And it's dry enough to touch, to move and lay on a table somewhere else after, 2 hours. But do not fold it. Do not crease your map. Do not roll it up and put it in anything, or put it in your bug out bag or your travel kit for at least 4 days. Okay. Anyway, let's get with it. It's fairly straightforward. I usually try to start doing the edges, around the edges first, because then I can go around the inside. It just seems to work better for me. You can do it however you want to. And when you pay as much as you do for these maps, I realize some of you it may not be expensive, but to me it's expensive. These maps are, even the ones without the photo reliefs on them, are $8, and the new ones that are they're photorealistic topo maps are now $15 straight from the government. Anyway, now I'm just going to get it on here and just go back and forth and make sure there's a thin coat into the paper, and it will absorb into the paper. It's easy if you look down at an angle. If you get your eye down, you can see any spots that you've missed. Just get down low so you can look. Get it on there as fast as you can. Don't diddle-daddle around. Yeah, I've got it on there good. Now you want to take your thing here and rinse it off. Okay, that's one side is done. So I'll move it over here on top of this. What this basically does is let air get up around all around it. A little bit of air. And it allows me to wipe off the table. Make sure the table's good and dry and clean. I learned that the hard way too before you do the next map. You want to make sure your table's good and dry, otherwise that stuff will stick to the other side. It just trust me. I've learned the hard way. I'm making this video so you don't have to learn the hard way about that. So now what I'll do here is I'll let that sit for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'll come back and do the other side. Alright, now through the magic of video editing, we are back to do the other side. This is the late night side right here. Do this just before going to bed, so you're not tempted to rush it. I find that's the best way to do these things, especially if you're an impatient type person, is to do them around bedtime. That way you can leave it as I see it, just like before, I'm going around the edges first, getting them good. If you get a little bit of much, a little bit too much on your brush, you can do it in the center, because that will pick it. That you'll spread it around. Don't get me wrong. You'll spread it around, and you'll get less going over the edges. So there you go. I've got the edges done here. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the center. Now what I usually try to do is I use the little tick marks down here to keep myself in line. Now this older map here, believe it or not, this is one of the older maps. This is a 1960 map. It doesn't have the UTM grids in it. So it's going to be I got to pay a little bit more attention. Big deal. Yeah, it doesn't have the GPS UTM grids on this map, so that's okay. I'm just using this map because I'm sorry, YouTube, I'm not going to show you the detailed maps of around my house. This is a detailed map of where I grew up when I was, you know, grade school age, though. Dry Creek in DeKalb County. Way back up in here is where my uncle had a house when I was like 12 and so. They didn't even have any electricity. So I'd spend my summers, you know, with no electricity. And that everybody wonders, how did you learn all this prepping stuff? Well, you know, I didn't learn it. I lived it. I actually lived the life. You know, I lived without electricity. It wasn't something, and we didn't really miss it because, you know, my cousins, nobody had electricity there, so we didn't really miss it. It wasn't like the internet had not been invented yet. Let's see, when I was that age, well, they were just thinking about the internet back when I was that age. It would have still been a super secret thing in the military. Now, if you got a map that you want to use real heavy duty, I would just put the map seal on the back of the map, and then on the front of the map, I'd put that clear, it's like a laminating stuff. What it is, it's a clear shelving paper that's got adhesive on one end, and you can put the paper waterproofing on the back, and then you put that adhesive film on the front of it, and that would make it super duper durable. But you know, this map right here, I'm just doing this to show y'all for the video, and that's basically it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back over here on the because it's when it's wet, it's wet, so it's just like being wet with water, but you don't want to tear it. I'm going to put it back over here, and in the morning I can take that map and move it into another room and start on another map. So right now I'm only set up to do one. You know what I've thought about doing, I don't know if there'd be any market for it, is you know, just to get this by the gallon if I could, and do maps for other people. You know, maybe charge them $10 a map for doing it, because a lot of people don't have the patience to do it. And if I could do it for other people, I could set up several tables and do several at a time. But anyway, that's map seal, and that's the proper way to use it.